Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Put that 17 magazine away and listen to this.
Hello and welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we read as kids and read them as adults and ruin them. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton, and with me as always is Bekah Eaton.
Hello.
And Chris Zaleski.
Hello.
And tonight we finish reading Fearless by Francine Pascal, and what better way to finish a book than with the closer himself, esteemed guest and returning champion, John Walker.
Hello, America and the world. Thank you for listening to Below Grade Level.
So
Oh, we should use that as like the tag on the end of our show.
I know.
I think we should open every show with that.
I think we should. I'm going to put an echo on that and some cheers. Like some stadium cheers.
And maybe even like some timpani behind it, you know?
Yeah.
Make a note of the timestamp.
The beginning of the episode.
I believe it's the first sound wave that I gave you.
John, we are finishing Fearless. Actually, it's Fearless number 1. It's a book series, but we've been calling it Fearless the same way you might call A New Hope Star Wars.
Yeah.
But we caught you up on basically all the happenings of this book.
Hold on just 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just want Bekah. Did you see the restraint that I just showed?
I didn't. I wasn't looking at your corner.
He brought up Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
And you didn't say anything at all.
I said, yeah. And I let him move on. I just want to show. But,
I'm familiar with that.
okay.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You've come a long way.
What was it? Star what?
Yeah, it was called Star What?
Star what? Star
Yeah.
what?
I believe that's correct.
Starfield, I think. Starfield.
I think it's called Starfield, and it came out 2 years ago.
Kind of a flop, but it was okay.
Kind of a flop. It's fine. Todd can do better. But John, I don't know actually. John, you have never heard of this book. Am I correct?
I guess not.
That's just. I mean, I'm.
No one but me.
No one but you
has.
Yeah.
I mean,
Although,
I did work
to
in
text
the.
my sister.
Oh, yeah.
I did work in the youth department of a library in. Right before, I don't know, I guess it would have been the mid-90s. So you said this started when? When did this first book come out?
99, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was well after my days of knowing what, the young adult section with the popular series were.
I could see you working in a library.
Oh,
Yeah.
I definitely did.
That's a lot of
You could have seen it.
That's not a stretch to imagine.
And if time travel ever becomes possible, Chris, you will be able to see me
no,
working
it's
in a
my
library.
first destination.
Okay, I'm looking at
I'm going to
the
ask what you recommend. It's going to be
gallery
awesome.
view of the four of us on Zoom, and I'm just thinking, I can see literally any of us working in a library.
That's because you can tell that if we let
library
our hair
jobs.
down and took
Really?
off our glasses, that we'd be really hot. That's the...
Chris, you need glasses.
Chris doesn't have glasses.
Oh, wait, hold
He
on.
just has to take the robe off.
Oh, he's got his fucking gloating glasses.
Oh, his
That's a
gloating
different vibe. Whipping your glasses off versus taking
and
your
disrobing.
robe off.
Well, it gets even funnier. They fell on the floor weeks ago, and they've been there the whole time.
Oh my god!
Why didn't you pick
Why
them
didn't
up?
you pick them up?
I didn't need to until right now.
Oh my god!
You're not right yet, Chris.
Yeah, you take those off until you get a prediction right.
I don't think we have any predictions about anything because nothing's really happening.
No. The only thing is that I did
Nothing's
gloat
happening
last time
that isn't immediately resolved.
about being right about the slashing.
The slashing.
Yeah. I'm the slashing.
What was the? I mean, just that there would be slashing. You were right.
It was about what happened to Heather because everyone in school was just doing that thing of like, she was shot 80 times. No, she was stabbed 50 times.
Yeah.
And I was confused about like, was she fucking stabbed or shot or slashed? And
Yeah.
also we've talked about what's the difference between slashing and stabbing.
Yeah.
Because they specifically say slashing a lot, and I just think that's so specific and weird.
Well, yes.
Like, why would you just run? Like, so
Yeah.
are they just running by people and going like
Slice,
and
slice,
then
yeah.
sprinting away?
Yeah, I don't think they've killed
slice,
anyone. I think
slice,
they're just
slice,
slashing
slice.
people. They're just cutting.
But
They're
I just
cutting.
feel like obviously there's a difference between slashing and stabbing.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's so negligible, and it's so weird to say slashing and not stabbing. I feel like it's normal to say like, oh, there was a stabbing in Central Park, not
Yeah.
a slashing. The slashings have been on the rise.
But I feel like that would be more. I don't know.
Slashings makes me think of like a horror movie where people are getting killed, but they're not getting killed. They're being just slashed and then go to the hospital.
Here's the problem. Here's probably where the confusion gets started. Is that stabbers is just a bad name for a subgenre of film, but slashers sounds kind of cool. And so if
it had been stabbers from the start, would that be so normalized? We would all just accept stabbers.
Now we need time travel. Oh my God, we need time travel. Also, like so
slashing,
so bad for this reason.
To go back to 1980 and say, oh, there's a new masked stabber named Jason Voorhees. I just don't think. I think it would have killed the genre right then and there. But I think they're different motions. I think a slash is like. Someone could be like doing this at you.
It's like a surface wound, which
I think
still would suck.
More often in slashers, stabbings are depicted. I think this is to your point, Bekah. Like more often than not, we're getting this as the motion. But you do get a fair amount of this. And if anyone sees the video, you can see.
I think there's always a little bit of both when someone's wielding a knife.
Kind of move if you're slashing.
But the thing with slashers as
really
a genre
beautiful.
Is they utilize a lot of different methods to dispatch teenagers. So it's not even just slashing or stabbing.
You're right.
Often it's impaling or like beheading or
wasn't the
drowning.
movie within a movie in Scream called Stab?
It was.
Oh, it was.
Yes. It was called Stab.
I remember.
Filmed in Stabovision.
But like as a joke because that's a terrible title.
Well, it's also like a dumbed down version of the name Scream. It's like saying
it's a
if Scream were dumb, it would be called
joke
Stab.
in the meta movie. I was literally watching Friday the 13th last night and this morning. The original.
So how about this? Instead of calling them slashers now, because of the beautiful, almost artistic
conducting an orchestra,
it's what we call them death painters.
Ooh, I like that.
But they are Nazis, though, so we also have just been calling them Nazis.
Oh, see, I thought he was talking about like Jason and Freddy.
I was just talking about the whole field.
Oh, okay,
but
gotcha.
yes.
Yeah.
These would be Nazi death painters.
Nazi death paint. That sounds way too cool, though.
Laceration
just
pictures.
Like Nazi dumbass teenagers.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
That was why you were gloating.
This book that we're supposed to be reading.
Let me catch the listener up on what happened last time.
Thank you.
So, Gaia cuts school to go bring Zoloff a sandwich. And Sam is there, and they kind of make weird eyes at each other. I can't remember. She gives him the sandwich. I didn't write any more about the sandwich. But she goes to eat some sugar-roasted nuts.
No, she didn't give him the sandwich. She dropped the sandwich on the ground.
Oh, right. Well, I think she, wanders away because Sam was playing Zoloff, and she was being weird about it. So she went to go get some nuts. And then we get some backstory about Sam, where he was a nerdy child, and then his parents gave him a makeover when he was 12, and then he got cool and hot. That's his whole deal.
I feel like that was one of the funniest things I've ever read in one of these books.
Yeah. They paid a lot of money for a 12-year-old to get a cool haircut.
To get hot.
Yeah. And while he's ruminating on how hot he was when he was 12, Zoloff gets slashed. Sam tries to fight the attacker. The attacker runs away, goes to chase him, and then Gaia thinks it's, I don't know, Gaia tackles Sam by accident.
She mistakes, Sam for the attacker.
And then they fight. I wrote down the quote, "mad enough to dismember."
Ooh, that's good. Gaia
fights the Nazis. I'm so worried I'm going to cough through this podcast. Oh, no. It's hard when I talk a lot.
Yeah.
Rennie, who is the young kid who was particularly friends with Zoloff. Why were they we'll pick someone important to him. That'll prove
that seems to have been
who matters the most to you at the chess park. Yeah. That's the one.
Who will
we have
fuck
to kill.
him up the most? Who will be the hardest one for him to slash?
So Rennie is there. He's a Nazi in training, and they want Rennie to shoot Gaia, but he won't do it. The cops show up. Some Nazis are arrested, and Zoloff seems to be okay.
Okay.
At the end.
The thing this is what I was gonna say back, John, when you were talking about when I asked you if you had ever heard this book, and you said you worked at a library. This is written by Francine Pascal, who that might ring a bell to you because she wrote the Sweet Valley books.
Of course.
So you are familiar with this this
Oh
author's
no!
work.
That's why I don't know if you noticed. I hesitated when you said, "Do you know this book?" As though
Yes.
I was like trying to hide some history with this book.
Yeah.
I was going to launch into. All I know is that it's another series by Sweet Valley High's Francine Pascal. So I know that name, and that's a person who's. I think I had a consciousness that those,
Yeah.
I did have some cultural consciousness that she's written other series that kids like, and it's not just Sweet Valley High. But I think that was as much as I knew about it, was that she had written this other series that I knew had sort of a horror vibe to it, but I didn't know it was called Fearless, and I didn't know Fearless was the name of a book and a series, just like Star Wars, which we won't talk about because there's nothing to say about Star Wars.
There's nothing to say about Star Wars. Our friend and previous guest Huey called this Sweet Valley Low, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And as I'm looking at
Valley High.
As I'm looking at the last page of what we read, it was another one of those weird
we didn't tell John about the style of the book.
We think the CIA is like not spying, but like keeping tabs on Gaia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also there's like a weird stylistic way the book is written where some of the chapters have little like vignettes of what's going to happen in the chapter ahead,
like a little sneak peek.
Here's a little sneak peek,
and here's another one. Come with us, listener, as we finish reading Fearless by Francine Pascal. This little tidbit is called. It says, "Dangerous Hope." When he was near, his own mind betrayed him. The smartest thing he could do was stay away from her permanently.
I wonder who that's about.
I wonder who that could be about. And this chapter is called Boy Flowers, which is the worst way of talking about puberty.
Ew.
Did your boy flowers come in
I
yet?
don't like it.
Have your boy flowers bloomed? I hear the
I'm trying to
pollen's
picture
extra.
what that means. I'm trying to picture.
Boy, you
I'm
know what?
trying
Actually,
not to picture
boy
what that
flowers
Just
means.
armpit hair, or
No, it's what's on the cum trees.
All right.
They are blooming.
that's awful.
John's all right.
The boy flowers are blooming. I thought pubic hair, so I don't know if that's better or worse.
I'm not gonna recover
It's
from
all
that one.
worse.
Oh no. Okay. Boy flowers. Okay. It's so trendy, almost bleeding to death. All the cool girls are doing it. Gaia didn't open her eyes. Instead, she considered the voice, felt the calloused hand wrapped around hers. She meant to smile, but it came out wobbly. "Hi, Ed," she said. His hands are calloused because of the wheels on the wheelchair, I bet. That's why. When she opened her eyes, she saw a small bundle of orange carnations perched in a Snapple bottle on the bedside table.
Those are sturdy bottles.
Yeah.
At that time.
Those are such boy flowers, she noted in a weak, slightly raspy voice. Sorry, let me do that again. Those are such boy flowers. What do you mean? Only a boy would buy dyed carnations, she explained. Girls buy less obvious stuff like tulips and irises.
This is coming from a person that doesn't really know how to function as a human on any level, much less what girls would do.
I was thinking the exact
She doesn't even have a pair of pants she gives a shit about.
Yes. She doesn't know how to apologize when you pour scalding hot coffee on a person.
No. But she's like,
but she knows the proper flowers.
Yeah, I know flower etiquette.
Yeah.
Also, I love that you post those clips because it gives me an opportunity to do callbacks.
I know. I was going to say that was a very timely callback. Did you forget saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you saying you don't like them? No, I do like them. I accept that you are a boy. I'm happy that you are a boy. I am Gaia. Error. Ed looked
No, honestly,
happy.
this is weird. Those were in my wedding vows, those two sentences.
Oh, that's so
Nikki
lovely.
looked at me and in front of God and everybody said, I accept that you are a boy. I'm
accept.
happy that you are a boy.
Yeah, and everyone cheered.
And then I looked at everybody and said, see? And then everyone cheered.
I told you.
Ed looked happy that he was a boy too. The end. Thanks for joining us, John. This has been a great episode. That sounded. So who did
No,
you
honestly,
beat?
it is April 1st. People don't know when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
This is
true.
April 1st. If you guys did bring me in to watch Jonathan read a page and a half and then end the episode,
Today would be.
Text you multiple times to see when you're free.
Today would be the day to
that'd
do
be
it.
the best. That'd be
Holy
the best
shit.
April
I'm
Fool's
in.
Day present ever.
All right, forget about that so we can do it next year.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So who did you beat up this time? That sounded like a question, she said. Oh, yeah. This is like reverse Jeopardy. Let's see. You beat up 10 guys, each 4 times your size, and one poor bastard got in a lucky punch. She nodded. Pretty much. Only multiply the equation by 1/2. Only 5 guys. He shook his head. You're losing your edge. Gaia studied his face thoughtfully.
So wait, did she get punched once and that's why she's in the hospital?
Oh, she got the shit kicked out
That's
of her.
what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. He said 10 guys.
Oh.
No, she got punched like a million times. And like kicked. Even, I think Sam punched her.
Oh, yeah. They were fighting.
They were wrestling.
Wrestling.
Gaia studied his face thoughtfully. I guess you could say it was 6 guys. Only one was kind of a mistake. A mistake? I got in a fight by accident with Sam, Heather's boyfriend. Wow, you really do get around.
Jesus. I didn't mean to. I thought he'd slash Zolov, the old guy who plays chess in the park. But it turned out Sam was only trying to help. I see, but you discovered that after you knocked his head off. He made an obvious effort not to let the end of his sentence bend into a question. Sort of, she admitted.
Why can't he ask her questions?
I don't know. Because
Okay.
he's trying not to pry because she's all fucking secretive and weird. Probably. Maybe you'll find an excuse to beat up Heather's parents next. Ha ha ha. Gaia closed her eyes. Her right cheekbone was throbbing, the cut on her forehead stung, and her stomach muscles ached. She was suddenly too tired to think. Hey, Ed, she finally said. Yep. Thank you for trying to be my friend. Am I succeeding? He cleared his throat. I am succeeding. He said it in a deep, smooth voice like a news anchor. One of you can do that line read.
I am succeeding.
Okay. She laughed, annoyingly well. He squeezed her hand. I'm glad. She moved her toes under the stiff sheets. Is Heather still in the hospital? She asked. Ed nodded. 2 doors down. You're joking. No, they moved her out of the ICU. She's going home tomorrow, just like you. Maybe you two can have a joint party.
Oh,
This page is boring.
you get a Bekah page.
Usually Bekah pages don't have dialogue, but this just has really boring dialogue.
This is like the dialogue equivalent of what the sconces
Normally
look
describes like one balcony.
Yeah.
See, normally, I think of a Bekah page as one that has weird onomatopoeia sound effects that she has to read.
Yeah.
Ooga,
Either really
ooga.
boring or way too exciting.
Yes. Yeah.
Gaia sighed. I still need to apologize to her. I don't see why. For almost getting her killed, Gaia said. But that wasn't your fault. Yes, it was. It wasn't. Was.
Do go on.
Was. There was more.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't. Was. Ed let out his breath in frustration. Gaia! What? You have got to get over yourself. What do you mean? Not everything bad that happens has to be about you. For no reason that she could understand, tears flooded Gaia's eyes. Her heart grew 3 sizes that day. Something big grew in her throat that prevented her from swallowing. Ed was getting close to a place that hurt, and she wanted him to go away. She tipped back her head so the tears wouldn't spill over her bottom lids. What a sentence.
Wait. I'm
The
sorry.
next sentence is insane.
Did they go back into her eyes?
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
It
okay.
elaborates a little bit.
Yeah,
She
sure.
tipped back her head so the tears wouldn't spill over her bottom lids. Thank the Lord for water cohesion.
What does that mean?
I
Is she
don't
just
know.
collecting the
she
tears
held
on
them
her eyes?
suspended above her eyeballs, and then they reabsorbed into her body. after like an hour.
Oh, you know what? She learned that in the CIA.
Yeah, you hold your head back.
Yeah.
You let the
If
tears
you don't
go
want
back
the torturers
inside.
to see you crying.
Ed
All
watched
right.
her carefully, wondering what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
His expression was...
I was just going to add, the property of cohesion describes the ability of water molecules to be attracted to other water molecules, which causes water to be sticky, which means it can resist external forces. So that makes sense, but it's a very strange sentence because we've all read books, and none of us have ever read a sentence where someone describes the act of tilting back their head to allow the tears to stay in their eyes.
I also love the concept of like tilting your head back to let the tears stay in your eyes so they don't trickle down your face. So then you just have like the wettest fucking eyes, and like anyone that looks
so
at you,
much space to hold water on your
yeah, and
surface
anyone
of
that
your
looks
eyeball.
at you would just be like, "Are you crying in the weirdest way? Are you crying up? Like
Are you
what?
are you crying about the moon? But also, like at some point too, you're gonna have to tilt your head down, presumably. Do you like then
water's
go to the
gotta-
bathroom without looking back down? It's like
Yeah.
no. Don't
It's just
jostle
like
me. You don't want
the
my
water,
tears to
it
go everywhere.
dries, and it's just
Yeah.
like a salt crust on your eyeball.
Oh, and you blink and it's just like,
Crack.
AKA, thank the Lord for water cohesion.
thank God.
I thank him every day for that.
Thank you.
Ed watched her carefully. His expression was gentle, but serious. You're tough as hell, Gaia, but you're not a god. You're made of the same stuff as the rest of us.
Her name is Gaia.
Ed, she asked in a thick voice. Would you leave now? I think I can only handle having a friend in 5-minute bursts.
What is that voice? I don't remember that being her voice.
It was a thick voice.
It said her voice
Oh,
was
her
thick, and
thick
it really
voice.
just sounded like Buffalo Bill.
You want me to read this?
No, is
yeah.
Heather dead?
Oh my God!
Or did
Yeah,
she just
Chris,
forget
read
about
this
Heather?
page too. 'Cause that's
Remember
cool.
Heather, which was my goth band in college. Zolov was in room 502. Heather was now in room 724, and Gaia was in room 728.
Thank
I
God
really
they told
hope
us all
this
that.
information
Now we can
is
find
useful
them.
later.
It's the floor
Christ.
plan of all those
Yeah.
rooms identical.
Well, it's
I
like-
want to know.
It's like a
It's
Silent
like that
Hill.
Christopher Pike book.
Oh yeah, where
Learn
everyone was in the apartment.
where everyone was, and who left each room at what time, and where
Yeah.
they went, and what doors were locked.
Well, here's some more information for you. Are you ready?
I don't think so actually.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Sam had been released from the emergency room last night after being examined and bandaged. He had slept, or at least lain, in his own bed most of last night. Today, he made his rotations like a physician, like a disoriented, exhausted, overwrought, inept physician who hadn't actually gone to medical school.
Does it say inept?
Yes.
Yep, that's some writing right there. He had no idea what happened last night. It was a complete mystery why he wasn't dead and who'd fought off the gang. One of the policemen thought it was Rennie, the kid who'd called 911, but that didn't make much sense. One of the
Rennie
paramedics...
was the fucking Nazi in training, and he's the one that called the police.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Rennie.
I hope he
Come
turns
on.
his
Still
life
at, like,
around, but
the-
also what a pussy.
Yeah.
The Hitler
Yeah.
youth stage.
Yeah.
Excuse me. One of the paramedics jokingly suggested it was Superman. Sam had this strange, hazy memory of Gaia. But no, that was obviously a fitful hallucination, a product of his own deranged fantasy life.
They fought for like 10 minutes.
I know. He got a really
They
bad
talked
concussion.
they spoke to each other.
Zolov's slashing wound was minor, but he was so old.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta stab people. Slashing's nothing.
The doctor on call wanted to observe him for another 24 hours. Zolov seemed to Sam in happy spirits and was very fond of the hospital food. He'd already discovered an
Zolov.
orderly who loved to play chess.
Zoloft.
Heather
Zoloft's
lay
gonna
in-
Zoloft.
Heather lay in the bed only a foot away from him, almost good as new and being released the following afternoon. Gaia, he hadn't actually spoken to. He'd only prowled around the door to her room like a cat burglar, wanting to catch a glimpse of her, but feeling too weird to actually enter. So Carrie told me that Miles and them are all coming over tomorrow night. It was supposed to be a surprise, but you know. Sam didn't know, but he nodded anyway. Heather had been chatting gaily at him for almost an hour.
Oh, and John, Sam's voice is a transatlantic accent.
Yes, I was just about to say the same thing.
Or Moira Rose.
What?
Not Moira Rose.
Transatlantic.
We started at Moira Rose and we went to transatlantic.
Okay.
Who knows what I'll do?
Yeah.
She was propped up in her bed, surrounded by at least 1 billion flowers, wearing her own pink linen robe. The bouquet he had carefully chosen was hidden behind 2 veritable towers of greenery and a gargantuan basket of fruit. Nurses and doctors and scores of visitors slipped in and out, attending to her as if she were a reigning queen. Her face was flushed and lovely.
Cool.
No one's ever been so hot in a hospital.
And you'll be there, right? Sam glanced up. He'd forgotten to listen to the first part of the question. He nodded again. Great. I mean, my mom is gonna, shit if I'm not in bed by 10. But it'll be fun anyway. Awesome. Heather didn't know Gaia was just down the hall. Oh, she'd accepted his explanation for his swollen purple eye with a minimum of questions. She'd cooed about how brave he was and how he had avenged her, which wasn't true, of course, but whatever. Don't you think? She was looking at him expectantly after a long soliloquy on something or another. Sam nodded. Grateful Heather only asked yes or no questions, and rhetorical ones at that. I figure we can just order more if we run out, Heather continued. How had Heather managed to turn a hospital stay into such a social whirlwind? He wondered as 2 more random friends waved at her from the doorway. We'll come back, one of them whispered loudly. Oh, we'll come back, one of them whispered loudly, in a we're cool to the fact that your boyfriend is here kind of way. Right,
yes,
he said absently. Ways. Yeah, right, that way.
Yeah.
That hyphenated way. Yes. Right, he said absently. He was thinking about whether or not the door to room 728 would be fully open and what he might say if he did venture into room 728. And then he felt ashamed. What kind of asshole obsessed about a troubling near stranger when his girlfriend was in the hospital? That's a weird thought.
He's very conflicted.
Yeah, he's obsessed about a troubling near stranger when his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So he's saying, why is he worried about Gaia when he should be worried about his... Okay.
Yeah. Right. But he was going to break up with her.
I think he should
so
just date someone in college and not obsess over 2 high school girls.
According to my notes, it's because they had sex chess in the rain.
Yes.
That's true. Which is also my favorite Milli Vanilli song. I don't know if you know that.
I also like that we were very specific to let John know
what King for
Sam's voice was, and the only thing he said on that entire page was, right.
I know, I assumed he'd say words.
And me too.
Did you guys hear? I tried to put a spin on it, though.
I did hear, and I appreciated it.
I gave him right.
You were like, right. Yeah. No, I heard it.
Cary Grant couldn't have been more transatlantic
than
I was.
I just hope you get a chance to do his voice more.
I would love it if he dies in the last sentence of Chris's next page. After giving a long speech.
Yeah. After me and Chris get to do his transatlantic voice.
After a page where I don't bother to do the voice.
Yes.
Right. You don't do the voice. You guys do nothing but the voice, and other characters are saying, stop talking so much. Shut up. Oh my God. And then they kill him.
Yeah.
It is funny that Bekah's sandwiched between me and Jonathan, who do voices. I've listened to some episodes and it's actually quite funny.
Oh, it's very funny. Okay. He was considering this when Heather's face changed distinctly. He turned to see why. He clamped his jaw down so hard he nearly crushed his back teeth.
Wow.
Ugh. Hello? Oh, wait. Is that...
It's probably her.
It's probably
if
Gaia.
I had to guess.
Hello? It was Gaia hovering at the door. Her face was tentative. He'd never seen her hair down before. It was a pale, beautiful yellow, and there was lots of it.
What a normal thing to say.
It's so weird. And there was lots of it, in case you were worried.
Has her hair even been mentioned?
No, I don't think so.
I think she's talked about it being blonde, but not the good kind of blonde.
We knew she was blonde just because Francine Pascal loves her Aryan
kind of
girls.
hot, but cool girl kind of not doesn't care if she's hot.
She doesn't wear makeup.
Yeah.
So hold on, is she hot? Question. Is she hot?
She's hot, but she doesn't know she's hot.
I was going to ask if she knows it next. Okay,
She
good.
doesn't know it.
Good.
She doesn't know it. Which is just how you want them.
She doesn't have glasses
she's
to
really
take
cool
off.
then.
Yeah.
She's hot until you meet her.
She's hot until she talks.
speaks.
Yeah.
She's
like,
hot.
Jesus Christ.
And you don't want her to know she's hot because if she knew she was hot, she wouldn't fucking talk to you. That's the whole premise of that.
Yeah.
She's probably
That makes sense.
Yeah. She's probably hot when she's beating up Nazis.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then when she turns to
most
talk,
people would be, I
yeah.
think.
But then when she turns to talk to you, you're like,
The horrible guy term around this time was attainable.
ew.
I'd never heard of that.
Is that a thing?
Around
Attainable.
1999?
Yeah, around 1999. It's just
Attainable
like,
meaning like
attainable.
hot but not too hot.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
she's
in
clearly
your
doesn't have
league.
standards yet.
or yeah.
Oh, God, that's sad.
The way we treated women in this specific era is
You mean like the whole
Society.
era of like humans existing?
well the whole era of humans existing.
It's like,
but like
the post-industrial.
I mean,
you mean like since the dawn of time?
all of the
Yeah, right.
patriarchy has been absolute dog shit for women, for sure. But I'm just thinking like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, it wasn't a great time.
It was pretty bad with just the shaming of every kind. I feel like that
Yeah.
American society.
Which is
and
funny
pop
that
culture
Rachel
threw
Lee
it.
Cook played her in the pilot, because wasn't she in the...
She's all that.
Yeah.
Isn't that the movie where like she's like mousy?
She took
and
off
then-
her glasses
and then she
and let
takes
her
off her
hair down.
glasses. Yeah,
And stopped wearing overalls.
yeah. And Freddie Prinze Jr. is like, go. He was in that, right?
I think so. I never
Think
saw
so.
it.
I think they
I never
all
saw
were.
it either.
I feel like I have the poster like perfectly,
Yeah,
like the image
there's like
in my
5
mind.
heads
but I
on
never,
it. One of them might be Seth Green.
I think there's 2 heads on it, but I feel like it's really brightly colored. We should all draw what we think the poster looks like.
Ooh, I love this idea. Well, you're gonna look it up.
I can't draw at all.
Okay.
I think it's like bright green or bright orange, and it's the 2 of them, and
I'm
they look
gonna-
all like fun.
Give me the fuck.
No,
give me-
I'm looking it up.
No, I'm saying give me the
Oh.
notepad. I'm gonna do it.
I'm not going to try.
Ooh, I was kind of right.
This is awful. This is awful. Okay. Okay, I'm done. John, are you done?
Yeah, I mean, I'm done. I did not really. Sometimes you turn something in just to turn something in, not because you really followed the assignment.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's where I am.
What I'm excited is that it's like a game.
I think there's almost no question that you're going to win the game if the game has rules.
I'm
I'm
just
really-
excited to see how accurate my memory is.
I'm really happy about what I drew. Okay. All right. So the moment has come.
Before
Oh,
we reveal, should
Yes.
I try to describe what I
Yes,
remember
Chris.
the poster
Describe
looks
it from
like?
memory. From
I'm
what
fairly
you think it is.
certain it was a green background,
Well, I didn't color it.
and
But well, you can describe what colors you think.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is.
she's in the foreground facing one way, but Freddie Prinze is like right behind her, facing the other way.
Uh-huh.
And then like all the other cast were like behind them,
Uh-huh.
and then title at the top.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay.
And it's like almost like a downward angle.
A downward angle. Okay, interesting.
So I think the next thing would be to see what the poster actually looks like, and then to
Ooh.
see.
Okay.
That's a
Then
good.
to see Jonathan
Yeah.
because he
Okay.
actually tried to remember what the poster looked like.
Okay.
And then for you guys
John,
to
what
find
did you
out.
do?
And you guys find out just the kind of special guy you're friends with.
Okay.
Based on
So,
what I
Chris,
drew.
you were pretty close. She is in the foreground, and he is in the background. And they're kind of his people behind them, but it's just 3 different pictures of Rachel Lee Cook. And it's purple and orange. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't figure out how cameras work.
It's weird that I can remember that aspect, but I don't know math.
I'm unhappy to know that she doesn't have bangs.
Well, they might just be clipped back with a bobby pin, but yeah, no bags.
All right.
Yeah, the
well, here's
one
what-
I'm seeing is like purple and orange background.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he's looking over her shoulder, and he's like
Yeah.
leaning one way and she's leaning the other, and they're
Okay, he's
almost like a
looking
little
at her.
heart shape. Yeah,
He's looking at her and she's looking at us.
Oh, it is like a heart shape.
you know, Those jack-off men's rights activist guys, they love to analyze pictures like this and say she's in the strong position and he's in the weak position because he's looking at her and she's looking at the viewer, that kind of thing. But it's definitely the vibe of the poster is like he's a sweetie that's there to be the ingenue in the movie where she's the main character. And you know what? Frankly, the one thing I'm getting from this poster is that she's all that.
She's all that.
Oh, Matthew Lillard's in this? I should watch this movie.
Oh, yeah. We should watch it. I've never seen it.
Anna Paquin?
What? Okay, well, here's what I drew.
That's pretty close.
I like that. That's so close. Okay, I was
close.
I just was
really
laughing because I accidentally drew her in a headlock.
Like her hands on his arm, like she's trying to get out of the headlock.
I drew his arm first, and I was like, "Oh, oops, she's in a headlock." So then I drew her hands, and I was like, "Nope." Now it looks like she's even more in a headlock.
It looks like she's in that picture against her will.
Why do they both have the craziest eyes?
Okay,
Some demonic eyes.
So are we all seeing each other flipped the right way, but what we're seeing of ourselves is flipped the wrong
backwards?
way?
Yeah.
Okay, so it really matters because of the graphical excellence. I was really
You
sad.
made
honestly,
her boobs so big.
I know. Well, I had to show you that she has them.
Okay.
And also that there's a midriff. Does she
There's
have a
no there's no belly button.
Damn it!
She is wearing a halter top, as
Halter
was
top
the style
is
at the
close
time.
second, but like midriff would
Had
have
to
been.
show you that she has.
I had to
Yeah,
show you
sorry.
that she's all that. That includes tits,
Tits and belly button.
tits and belly button. Okay, John.
Well, I kind of choked, and
I'm
so what
scared.
I drew was an alligator saying she's all that, but he's saying like she. Oh, here we go.
That's adorable.
Except he's saying
She's all that. Oh my god, there's so many L's.
all that.
That was the movie
Also, I love
poster.
that I'm seeing the words water cohesion on your head.
You're saying thank the Lord for water cohesion on the opposite page.
And it's darker in all the other words.
Oh yeah, this is the.
I need an alligator with "Thank the Lord for water cohesion."
all that other pencil stuff. That's the recap. That's the recap that.
Oh my god.
I'm so. It's so nice that you took notes when there's no fucking reason why you.
No, there's really not.
John just has a notebook full of notes of the ends of a bunch of
Oh
children's
my god,
books.
that's adorable.
Oh my god.
But I was really sad when you pulled up the actual poster to see that it doesn't have a little alligator saying she's
know.
all that.
That's
All
so
that.
surprising.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
That is wonderful.
That might be the best tangent we've ever done.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make an extra long clip out of that one.
Well, I'll send you
God.
an actual image
Yes,
that you can use.
Please.
Yeah, you're gonna have to download a picture of the actual
'Cause
poster.
I can- yeah,
'cause my
I'll-
phone was blurry.
That's amazing.
Holy fuck. Okay.
My face hurts.
I know, my stomach hurts. I lost my place.
I don't even want to finish the book. I just want to play this game with other movie posters.
Me too. Me too. This is going to be our next game night game. Oh, I was
I
describing
mean,
her
honestly,
hair.
if you guys said right now, next time you come back, we're just gonna call out semi-obscure movie posters and then try to remember what they were.
I
and
was
draw them.
just thinking we need to play Telestrations with
Yes.
John, and
Oh my
also
God.
Ever. We never play it, and it's my favorite game. It makes me laugh so hard I can't even draw.
It's
but
so funny.
it's so fun.
Yeah, we definitely need to play that with John.
Game night.
Okay. Her hair, guys, it was pale
Oh,
and
right.
beautiful yellow,
And
and
there's
there
a lot of
was
it.
a lot of it. There was a lot of it. It fell below her shoulders. Cool. Her few freckles stood out in the fluorescent light. Okay. Heather's expression turned from surprised to pinched and angry. What are you doing here? I actually spent the night down the hall because Heather shook her head in disbelief. I swear to God, it's like you're stalking me. Gaia looked desperately uncomfortable as her gaze shifted from Heather to Sam and then back again. Heather, Sam, Heather, Sam. Her skin looked so pale it was almost translucent. Gross. She tugged and fidgeted with her grayish purple hospital gown. I don't know if you heard, but there was this fight last night, and do I care? Heather's voice was so harsh, Sam winced inwardly. No, it's just Gaia sighed and started over. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to tell you that I'm very sorry for not warning you about the guy with the knife in the park. It was a bad and dishonorable thing to do, and I don't need you to say it's okay or anything. I'm not looking to be friends, but what I did was wrong, and I'm very sorry for it. Sam's heart moved up through his chest and into his throat, and he puked it out on the floor right there. They called it code blue.
If she had just said that about the coffee, this all would have been fine.
Yep.
It was very dishonorable, etc. That whole
speech. etc. Yeah. Well, the coffee wasn't dishonorable. It was
yes,
just... it was. He saw
Coffee's
something.
hot.
What?
Coffee's hot.
Coffee is hot.
It was an accident. Accident is
You apologize
but
for
you
an
do.
accident.
I mean, you should apologize.
Not apologizing was dishonorable.
Yes.
He saw something in her eyes when he let himself. That was in parentheses. That was so profoundly vulnerable and scared that her defiance only made it more moving and distressing to him. Was he the only one who saw it? Was he imagining it? He found himself hoping with unfamiliar passion that Heather would be kind to her. Gaia's speech was met with at least a minute of silence. All right? Start the clock.
That is a really long time.
Start the clock. It's 1 minute.
Well, I'll wait. Are you done? Heather finally asked.
Bitch.
Sam's heart dislocated his tonsils. He couldn't swallow. He was supposed to be on Heather's side. She was his girlfriend, and furthermore, she was the one who'd been wronged. But he struggled against the impulse to put his arms around Gaia and tell Heather to go to hell. Gaia nodded. Then please go away, Heather said. She was capable of causing hypothermia when she felt like it. Gaia left just as Heather's mom arrived in the doorway. Sam practically leapt to his feet. Heather, your mom probably wants some time with you, he mumbled, needing to get out of the room if he was going to breathe again. Hey, Mrs. Gannis, he said politely, bolting past her. He paused for a moment or two before following Gaia into her room. Although it was only a matter of 30 feet from Heather's, it belonged to a different universe. Aside from a pitiful clump of bright orange flowers in a sticky-looking glass bottle, it was colorless, empty, and quiet. Gaia was sitting with her arms around her knees on the radiator, sure, under the window, staring out at the rain, real dramatic like.
Jesus Christ.
Gaia, he said. She turned around. She had those eyes again, the same ones that were always in her skull.
They
Hi.
were full of water.
full of hardening water. She looked like a waif in her hospital gown. Her feet were bare, her ankles surprisingly delicate. Her toenails, he could spot her toenails from there, I guess, were mostly covered in chipped brown polish. Ew. She had a big presence. I guess it was the 90s. Brown nail polish was.
Was it a thing?
And lipstick. There was a lot of neutral tones. She had such a big presence, he'd never realized how slight she could appear. It was too quiet. He needed to say something to her.
Also, she kicked the shit out of him, so he'd be like, why are you so slender?
Yeah. How are you that small? Damn it. He needed to say something to her. Oh my god, I have the feelings. But the feelings stirring in his core weren't getting anywhere near his mouth. He found his legs taking up space that brought him close to her. How are you doing? She asked softly, filling a tiny part of the silence.
Bekah, I hate that feeling you have right now. That weird tickle, that like dryness that you're like, oh, I can talk. And they're like, wait, no, I can't. But I've got to finish.
To me in an hour-long meeting today I had with someone I barely know who was like doing coaching for me from one of the training sessions I'm in. Mm-hmm. And I had to mute myself and get up and walk away and drink water because I could not stop coughing. And I just turned completely red. It was so awful.
Oh, no.
It's like I can feel it drying up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fine, he said, as if that were a surprising question. What about you? Fine, I'm going home tomorrow. I'm glad. He shifted his weight from one foot to the other. So, where are your folks? Her pupils seemed to dilate, but she didn't look away. Why? What? Like,
that sounds terrifying.
I know. She learned that in the CIA.
Like
too.
as if they just went like, wow.
She learned a lot of eye tricks in the CIA.
She's hypnotoad all of a sudden.
I don't have any. Sam wanted to slit his throat. and yet somehow
Slash.
the information didn't completely surprise him. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean..." "That's okay," she said quickly.
What a faux pas!
How could you have known? I didn't. I just... His voice petered out. So much for the speech therapist.
Oh, I forgot he had a stutter. I didn't write that down.
Oh, yeah.
"Sam," she said. His name sounded different than it ever had before.
This is so...
I'm getting like every sentence is awful.
It's just so much more dramatic. Like the romance plotline is so much more dramatic than anything in Sweet Valley.
Yeah, it is.
It's just really funny.
Yes? "I am very, very sorry for attacking you last night. I wish I had it to do over. I wish I had it to do over."
I wish I could attack you again.
Yeah, I
would have finished the job.
Yeah. I love
some
beating
odd-
the shit out of you, and I can't wait for the next
I'm
opportunity.
very, very sorry for attacking you last night. I should have done it in daylight so I could appreciate the sight of your blood.
"I wish our parts could touch in different circumstances." For some odd reason, he found himself smiling a little. That was the one thing in his life he would have left just the same.
Being attacked by
being
her?
attacked by
She
her.
beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't your fault. I'm the one who's sorry for everything. "I seem to have a lot to apologize for," she said quietly, studying her fingernails. Her hands were exceptionally graceful, although her nails were bitten down to the quick. "Some people do, and they say nothing," he murmured. He hoped that was the quietest he could get.
Part of your fingers is the quick.
Like the part like under, like where your nails meet your skin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where it hurts
Okay.
to bite down to.
He hoped she would know what he meant. She nodded.
I don't fucking know what he meant. Hold on. There's too much space in between the dialogue for the dialogue to be this weird.
Yeah.
"I seem to have a lot to apologize for," and he goes, "Some people do, and they say nothing."
Oh, okay.
She nodded. "Gaia, do you have any idea what happened last night?" She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" "I mean, somebody beat up those guys and saved my skin. Maybe yours too. Do you have any idea who it was or how it happened? Was it Batman?" Her eyes didn't move from his. She was looking for something from him as intently as he was from her.
Probably no more than you, she said equivocally.
Accurate.
He took a deep breath. "I have these strange fragments of memories, but, well..." He found his cheeks warming at the images in his mind. "But they don't make sense." Gaia shrugged. "Oh. I mean, you didn't..." His voice was obviously beseeching, but he couldn't supply the rest of the question. She wasn't going to help him. "Maybe it'll come back to one of us," he said lamely. "Maybe it'll come back to one of us," he said lamely.
One bit where his voice was obviously beseeching, but he couldn't supply the rest of the question. It's just like, do you think Francine Pascal was like, "We need to put some more SAT words in this. This is for older kids."
That way the kids will get credit for reading this.
Yeah.
The list.
For book it.
There's a,
Yeah.
She was like,
book it.
beseeching.
B.
She's going to cross off every one.
Yeah. He said lamely. Maybe. He stuck his hands in his pants. I thought he stuck his hands in his pants, but it seems like
He
his
stuck
hands
his
in
hands in his pants.
He stuck his hands in his pants, and he did the
And he did the little shuffle.
he did the fearless dance. He stuck his hands in his pants pockets. "Did you see Zoloff today?" Gaia smiled. "Yeah, he's happy. He keeps asking for more pudding." Sam smiled too.
Why weren't we doing that the whole time?
I don't know. It's,
Suddenly, he wanted to stay here and smile at her for the rest of his life.
fucking God.
Everyone loves being in a hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, sexy chess in the rain is. I mean, I don't know. It's special.
Yeah, they really connected over nothing.
Yeah, he repeated stupidly. She lifted up her arm to brush a strand of hair from her face.
That was not ad-libbed.
No, that's true. That's true.
That is what was written.
This book has made it really easy for but also, to be clear, I love it.
Oh,
so
no,
much.
it's so good. I love it so much.
Every page, there's something you want to say that about. Like, no, and listeners, you should know that's actually in the book. Yeah, he repeated stupidly. She lifted up her arm to... Judgy much, Francine? Jeez. She lifted up her arm to brush a stupid strand of fucking hair from her face. And as she did, revealed a deep, prune-colored bruise on the tender underside of her arm. "Oh," he said out loud, his breath catching. Suddenly, he wasn't just close to her, but nearly touching her. 2 of his fingers hovered around her elbow.
So hot. Fuck.
She lifted her arm again and glanced at the bruise, wondering at his reaction. "This," she turned out her arm and offered it to him. For some reason, the dark, angry bruise on her soft, sweet skin pained him beyond words. It was a helpless spot, even on Gaia's body. She has no parents, he found himself thinking disconnectedly. She has a terrible bruise on that hidden sad part of her arm, and she has no parents.
What the fuck?
Also not ad-libbed.
Process it.
What? I literally...
Sad part of your arm.
Sad?
Also, the elbow has no nerve endings.
That's...
You can pinch your elbow skin as hard as possible, and it won't even hurt.
That's not fucking true, because the tattoo on my elbow was
So, Chris, you ever get that
painful.
shit tattooed, Chris?
Well, that's the bone, but the skin.
It's not the bone.
You can pull the skin and pinch it as hard as possible, and it won't hurt.
What? Did you
It
lean
does
on
hurt.
Did you lean
Is this a
on an
joke?
oven when you were
No,
a kid?
it's true. Grab the skin of your elbow
Yes.
and pinch it as hard as possible.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Like, squeezing, pinching doesn't hurt that bad, just like it
You see
doesn't
what I'm
here
doing?
either.
You see
But
what I'm doing?
putting
It
my
doesn't even
nail
hurt.
into it,
I agree
you
with
do it
I
anywhere
agree
else,
with you
it
in
hurts.
spirit.
here feels the same.
See, it doesn't to me. It feels more painful if I pinch in another spot.
Not by
That
much.
doesn't hurt.
Ew.
This
There's
does.
a lot of loose skin
Stop
there.
pulling your elbow skin.
Your
actually
elbow's
called a
very loose,
weenus.
Chris.
You're called a
We all-
weenus.
We all know that.
It's like the guy in,
that.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Ew.
I never saw that.
There's a
What
creepy
happens
monster
with
with loose
this elbow?
skin.
Chris, you need
Ew.
to drink more water.
I do.
Like
Maybe
one of the
you guys
contestants
aren't
on
drinking
Survivor.
Chris, your weenus needs more hydration.
That made me wheeze.
Chris, if you take his advice, you'll be saying, "Thank the Lord for water cohesion."
On my weenus.
On my weenus. Lord, please give water cohesion to my weenus. That's a common prayer.
Water coenus.
I can't. Let's go back to her
I want to
sad
write that
arm.
down, but I'll never
Her sad-
remember what that fucking means.
She has a terrible bruise on that hidden sad part of her arm, and she has no parents. Without thinking properly,
Fuck.
he
So
let his
where?
finger...
I just want to know, what's the saddest part of your arm? Was it back here,
is it
like above
here?
the elbow, or like
What's
here?
the saddest
What's
part
the
of your arm?
saddest part? Is it this?
Oh. God.
That's a great icebreaker. Let's remember that next time you need like an icebreaker at a party.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's have an icebreaker question. Okay, what's the saddest part of your arm?
Well, I guess it depends on the individual.
That's true.
Oh man.
I killed my dad with this part of my arm. It's so sad. Okay, without thinking properly, he let his fingertips land on her skin just above the inside of her elbow. Gaia looked down at them, but she didn't flinch.
Together they watched his fingers slowly graze the damaged spot so gently. He wasn't sure whether he felt her skin or simply her warmth. The warmth radiated up into his face, now bent over her. He was hypnotized by that passage of skin. He inhaled her subtle fragrance, a faint but tantalizing mixture of chamomile and chapstick and caramel and faded laundry detergent. Was he breathing? Was his heart still beating? I didn't add a goddamn thing.
I don't know.
I just
I
wrote
don't know.
Yes.
I wrote a nothing note just to have something to do while that was happening.
I don't think. Okay, I want to tell you something. I don't think in any of the books, in
That was
all
so
the
upsetting
adventures,
Chris left.
in all the adventures you've brought me on this show, I don't think we've ever had someone with as interesting of an inner life as this Sam guy.
I don't think so either. It's nothing much, she said in something just above a whisper. Hang on, I gotta do that again. It's nothing much. She said in something just above a whisper. You should see the ones on my stomach. Oh, God. The mere
Is
thought
it
of
be an
her...
Indiana Jones situation where doesn't it hurt?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, it is. Oh, God, Bekah.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, is what it says in the book. The mere thought of her stomach was a mistake.
Jesus Christ.
He was rock hard.
Date women your own age, Sam.
And this, she said, she lifted a curtain of gold hair to show a nasty bruise, so nasty, on her hairline, just above her ear.
Ew.
This is, Chris, you're missing some of the grossest meet cute shit we've ever read. He doesn't even have his headphones on. Chris.
What is happening?
Chris.
You don't have to stop every time I walk away.
I didn't stop. I'm upset that you missed everything I just read, so you're gonna
I
need
speed read.
Okay. Did you have to go and throw up? Is why you
I
left?
had to pee. I had to pee and I grabbed more beers.
Now his hand was on her hair. He'd first realized it last night that her hair was magical stuff. This is the worst page I've ever read.
I hope you have a lot left.
Oh my God.
I'm so fucking scared.
I hope it keeps going and that you have to read this bullshit. It was weightless and sparkled with strangely mutable color, as if it were shot through with sunlight. His eyes were on her wound.
Yeah, it was.
Then suddenly his lips, it had nothing to do
The
with
lips
thinking.
were on the wound?
Yeah. If it had anything to do with thinking, he never would have done it, because he was a cautious boy.
Does it say that?
No. He was a cautious, rational person. Everyone said so. It does say that.
I haven't seen him speak to anyone but Heather and Gaia this whole book.
By the way, Sam, Heather is still your girlfriend and is in the next room, and the door's probably open. His lips touched her hairline so tenderly, she breathed into him, letting her head, her body, relax against his. She let out a tiny sound. A hum, not a word.
Let's hear it.
John and Chris definitely couldn't hear that because of Zoom, but you'll hear it on the episode.
noise I made, I don't even think Zoom picked up. So
No. He'd found his purpose with her, and it was kissing bruises. In that touch of his lips, in those few seconds, without caution or anything related to reason he knew, he didn't know how he knew that he had a unique power. He alone had it. Did she know? Did she care? Would she hate him for it? Or could she love him, maybe? As his lips moved with exquisite gentleness from the bruise in her hairline to the bandaged cut over her left eyebrow, he knew that he somehow possessed the power to kiss her and make her better.
what?
I don't know.
I want to quit.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. I had to
Why?
read. Because I had to read that last page. Someone else needs to fucking
This is the
catch
weirdest-
the baton.
Weirdest shit ever.
Yeah, I am whatever the opposite of super turned on could be.
I am
Dry.
just baffled. Ew.
Dry as a desert.
Hold on. Where am I? It was a puzzling, inexplicable kind of certainty that came only in dreams. It was an idea so complex and fragile that if he even blinked, he feared he would lose it. I hate this.
Oh, this is great.
I hate it.
Why? What's it say?
Let me show you, he thought, as his lips moved toward hers. Let me show you what I can do.
Ew.
She was staring up at him in wonder. From his perspective.
Just
saying. Her fingers had wrapped around his. Her breath was slow and just barely audible. Her lips were parted in a question. Her blue-violet eyes opened into a billion possible worlds.
What?
There you are! The booming words cut through the spell with the force of an axe. The pretty plump nurse who spoke to them was carrying only a paper cup and some pills. I thought it was going to be Heather.
Me too.
I was excited.
Yeah.
But it's just some lady. There you are, she said again, this time clearly to him. Her voice was so loud it was disorienting. Sam wished he had a remote control to pause her, or at the very least, turn down the volume.
That's a different book.
You're Heather's boyfriend, right? I love this nurse.
Yeah,
this nurse is like, fuck that guy.
This nurse is like, shut this down.
I like to think she's like, oh, I shouldn't get involved. I'm going to get involved.
I'm going to say there you are twice.
Could they hear her all the way uptown? He wondered absently. She's looking for you, asking everybody where you went. Could they hear her in Harlem, in Connecticut, at the North Pole? Sam had traveled deep into a netherworld, and it was hard coming back.
I bet it was a netherworld.
He looked at Gaia, but her face was turned to the window. Gaia? When she turned back to him, her face was different. Yeah? I'll see you later. Sure, maybe, she said. Her eyes were no longer the color of the dear night sky. The dear night sky, soaring up into a universe of stars and moons and planets and galaxies. They weren't that anymore.
They weren't that anymore.
No, they weren't that anymore.
No.
They were iced over. Shut. Hey, Sam, she called as he walked toward the door. He felt something dangerous as he turned to her. You and Heather make a great couple, he said. Her voice was as frigid as her expression. All hope and warmth drained away. He blinked. I'm not sure how to take that, he said. She shook her head. It doesn't matter. Sam's sore muscles tightened. He pulled his eyes from her face and forced the fuzzy clouds in his mind apart, letting in the cold light of reason. He was awake. He was fully awake, and the dream was gone. Now he could remember that he disliked Gaia, even hated her.
What?
She was trouble. Within a week of meeting her, he'd been beaten to a pulp, and two people he really cared about were in the hospital. Gaia was angry and dangerous. When he was near her, his own mind betrayed him. Yeah, sure, it's his mind that betrayed him.
That's what he was thinking with.
Yes, his brain.
Yes.
The smartest thing he could do was stay away from her permanently. Oh, call back to the blah, blah, blah. The smartest and most rational thing he could do was to get himself back to Heather's room and remember why he loved her. You know what I like most about her? How shallow she is.
How much I hate her friends and all the words that she says.
Chris, read this page too, since that was slightly short.
Distracción a la Gaia.
That's also all I wanted to hear, was him do that.
2 Krispy Kreme donuts, 1 Granny Smith apple, 1 large coffee with milk and 3 sugars, 5 roasted nuts. Individual.
Not enough roasted nuts.
Oh.
Did you laugh at the word nuts?
This is all Walker.
Oh, really?
No, I laughed because it was another tiny...
Another
another tiny
interstitial.
page.
I feel like you should keep doing these tiny ones because you're still short of short.
And finally, ellipses. He refused to look up and pay her face any attention at all until he felt the metal barrel against his temple.
What?
Oh, shit.
Intense.
Oh, no.
Goodbye, Marco. She was so angry she had picked a fight with George.
Oh, John, sorry. Marco's voice, for some reason that I can't remember, is John Travolta. I feel like I need to start just making shit up on my own about what voices are, because it feels like I am anyway.
See, I was going to say we need to keep a separate page of just voices.
No, I remember. No. I mean, I remember, but I just feel like when I say it, it sounds like I'm making it up, and I wish I was.
I think it's funny because you said, I don't know why it's John Travolta, but I think I know why. It's because it's one of the 3 voices that gets done on this show.
That's fair.
Also, we've talked about how it's one of those voices where when you lapse into it, it's like you hear someone do it and you're like, well, that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
Every mom is Julia Child.
Right.
Every dad is the dad from Coraline.
Right. She was so angry she'd picked a fight with George. She was so angry she was wearing her highest heels. Even her aqua miniskirt wasn't helping her mood. I know when I put on an aqua miniskirt, it normally helps my mood so much. Marco put his hands on her hips and pushed her against the wall. The only thing this stupid, vain kid had going for him was his looks, and now he was monstrous with his swollen nose and misshapen lips. Come on, darling, she whispered to him. Come on, darling, she whispered to him. We need some privacy. She removed his hands and used them to lead him down the narrow hall of the Gramercy Inn to room 402, their very own love nest. Is it Gramercy or Gramercy? I've never known how to say that. Gramercy? Once he was in the room, she plucked the Do Not Disturb sign off the inside doorknob and hung it on the outside. She dosed the door hard and locked it. Oh, dosed it with some kind of poison or something.
Oh, closed.
Oh, yeah.
The text in this Kindle, for some reason, is really weird, and it's like, I don't know if it's like a scanning thing, but every once in a while.
Noticed the C and an L next to each other, and it decided it was a D.
Well, you said there was like CIA shit in this story, so I thought, someone's putting some kind of poison on the door.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first, too.
So if he tries to escape, he gets poisoned.
His hand is like...
Yeah.
You probably already noticed there's some very lacking punctuation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I was quietly judging the punctuation this whole time. She closed the door hard and locked it. She clattered the key down on the glass-topped bureau. He was already pulling his cotton T-shirt over his head, and then he left it there. He was like, woo! She saw deep bruises on his ribs in those sad, hidden places and shoulder. Slob that he was.
Was it the saddest part of his ribs?
It was not the saddest.
Like a good part of his ribs?
It was sort of like a medium sad rib.
Is there a happy part of the arm?
The happiest part of the arm is the little, well, it's the hand really, but this part. Hey! It's me! She saw deep bruises on his ribs and shoulder. Slob that he was, he threw the shirt on the ground and came toward her with those inexhaustible hands.
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't believe he didn't fold up his T-shirt and put it away.
I know, he should have. Like, now the question, is this wearable? Are we talking about, is this dirty? Is this like a hamper item? Or should this be on the chair, you know?
But hold on.
How many
put
days
it
have
away.
you worn it already?
Put it away in the drawer of the no-tell hotel.
Yeah.
Fold your dirty T-shirt and put it in the drawer at the hotel.
Well,
Darling,
the drawers
she
are there.
cooed.
We paid for them. I'm going to use them.
So that's a coo, right? So, darling, she cooed. You know I need to talk to you. I asked you not to hurt my friend, and now I've learned she's in the hospital. Marco, as usual, was in no mood for talking. Weird, he said, burying his face in her neck. This had been fun 2 days ago. Today, it wasn't. Marco, did you hear me? He had the unbelievable gall to throw her on the bed. She took her handbag with her. As he kissed her, she fumbled with the latch and opened it. Marco, I asked you a question.
His hands were gliding under her shirt. They were cold today. He refused.
Today.
It's pretty great.
Sorry.
No, it's pretty great.
Today.
That says a lot about
right.
what we haven't seen. He refused
Nothing
to look.
to do with what you might be doing with your hands. Like,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
hands are kind of
And,
cold
like,
today.
Sometimes during a day, they could be colder or warmer. They just change with the days.
Yeah. He refused to look up and pay her face any attention at all until he felt the metal barrel against his temple. His eyes grew round, and his lips opened. He spluttered. But he couldn't find words. Ella gave...
Oh, jeez.
What?
Ella gave him another few seconds to fully appreciate her change of mood before she pulled the trigger and sent a silent bullet deep into his head. Ella!
Ella's
George's wife.
girlfriend.
Ella,
Who she hates.
My first thought was our new stuffed animal, who's an elephant
Oh.
named Ella Fitzgerald, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute."
So cute.
But I forgot about George's wife, Ella.
Yeah.
What? Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god.
This is the most interesting thing that's happened in the book.
Yeah.
In like 3 episodes. Oh my god! What do I even write?
Ella shot Marco in the fucking face right then.
Or temple, but yeah.
Haired.
She untangled herself from him and deposited the gun into her slim, square bag. She straightened her clothes,
Phew.
glanced in the mirror. Her lipstick was still perfect. She smiled wide. None on her teeth. Fucking professional.
Oh, fucking Ella, that's awesome.
She might have dosed the doorknob.
She might
She
have.
might have.
Yeah.
She's got her shit together.
This interlude had done nothing to quell her anger, but now it was 3 o'clock and Gaia, the true source of her temper, would be home from the hospital. Ella slung her bag over her shoulder, enjoying the weight of the gun, and strode to the door without a backwards glance. She was so tired of that girl.
I'm just glad she enjoyed.
Oh
the weight
shit!
of the
That
gun.
was it.
No!
Do you want to read a sneak peek of Fearless number 2?
Yes.
Titled Sam, I guess.
Ew, it's called Sam.
Here's a sneak peek of Fearless number 2,
We
Sam.
need to start check. I even thought we should check the end to make sure there's not some weird extra shit that's throwing off the
God,
numbers.
that's so fucking annoying, because seriously, like, there's 6% of this book left.
We're
I
checking
think
next time.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got to.
I did
I mean,
say
we did
that,
fill up a lot of time, because we have so much fun talking to John.
that we were gonna have nothing but epilogue in this episode. I did say that.
I believe what you said was
sorry,
nothing but
Becca,
falling
he's got
action.
the glasses on.
Oh, fuck. I don't remember Chris saying that. Was I not
He said
in
falling
the room?
action.
Do we
Oh,
have a
falling
clip?
He
action.
said
Do we
falling
have a
action.
clip?
Do we have a clip? Do we have a clip?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I
all we
liked
got
it.
left is falling action.
Falling action? I don't know. I really don't like.
You whatever.
The how much of this? No, do we
But I
want?
mean, having the sneak peek.
do we want to read the sneak peek?
Yes,
It's kind
I'm
of-
not done
yeah,
reading.
Actually, okay, that's true. Yeah, it's sizable. Fuck it.
It's sizable.
Okay.
We don't need to do the whole thing, but like we definitely should do some of it.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Here's a sneak peek at Fearless number 2, which I feel like we should read at some point
Yeah.
because this is awesome. Well, if we read it, we'll have already read part of it because we're reading the sneak peek.
Yes.
Well, then,
But how soon
just-
will you
What point you're
possibly be reading it? It seems like
Not for a while.
Not for
Yeah.
a long time.
I think just the little taste, just because we weren't expecting it to
Yeah.
end. We didn't know we were at the end. I would like to know like the next week on kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Next
like
Look
Chris
at
said, we don't have to
ahead.
read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, you have to at least read that first column of text.
And we never remember what we fucking read anyway.
That's
It's
very
not like we're
true.
gonna remember this.
Always fresh. Tonight, as I sat on the park bench waiting for my head to explode, I had one moment of clarity in which I learned 2 things. I have to find my dad. I just have to. As angry as I am, as much as I hate him for abandoning me on the most awful, vulnerable day of my life. Interesting. I don't want
Well, I
to
think
die.
the day that her mother died.
Oh, was that the day he left?
Probably.
What? I don't want to
He
die.
left when she was 12, and she was 12 when her mother died.
Fuck, you're right. I don't want to die without seeing him one more time. I don't know what I will say to him, but there is something I want to know, and I feel like I can look in his eyes for just a moment. I feel like if I can look in his eyes for just a moment, I'll know what his betrayal meant and whether there is any love or trust, even the possibility of it, between us. Hang on a second. I just want to go back up to the beginning where it says.
Well, I have to pee,
No,
so-
back up. I'm so sorry.
No, and then I can go pee, or then I have to
You,
stay
you
here.
can't pee. You have to stay here for
Can't
just
pee.
1
You
second.
can't leave him now.
1 second.
You can't leave him now
Just
on
one
the most
second.
I don't
awful,
want water
vulnerable
because
day
my
of his
throat
life.
is so
Just
dry.
1 second. She learned 2 things, right? The first thing was that she had to find her dad.
Yes.
The second thing that she learned is that I have to have sex. You can go pee now.
Great. I'll be thinking about that the whole time.
There's the cliffhanger that we needed. You know,
Oh man,
frankly.
that is yeah. Oh, come on. Don't act so shocked. I'm 17 years old. I know the rules about being safe. If my life weren't in very immediate jeopardy, maybe I would let it wait for the exact right time. But let's face it, I may not be around next week. Forget about happily ever after. Besides, I have been through a lot of truly awful things in my life, so why should I die without getting to experience one of the few great ones? Who am I going to have sex with? Do you have to ask? All right. I have an answer. In my moment of clarity, the face I saw belonged to Sam Moon. No fucking shit. Granted, he hates me. Granted, he has a girlfriend. Granted, his girlfriend hates me even more. But
His girlfriend hates me even more.
His girlfriend hates me even more, if you know what I mean. But I'll find a way, because he's the one. I can't say why. He just is. I'll find a way. I will have sex with him whether he wants me to or not. I wish I could convince myself that CJ wouldn't make good on his threat. I wonder who CJ is. But I heard his voice. I saw his face. I know he'll do any crazy thing it takes. Am I afraid? No. I'm never afraid. I forgot she's Batman sometimes. But the way I see it, dying without knowing love would be a tragedy. Beauty and hideousness. She hated that pale blonde hair, a color you rarely saw in a person over the age of 3. Well,
Is this meant to be the start of the next book?
It's unclear.
Okay.
It's totally unclear.
All we know is that she's going to fuck Sam.
Okay. Well, that seems inevitable. A precious
but
ritual.
Bekah, she seems to really want to so badly that she doesn't seem to. It's like, how am I going to get that? You know, there's not even like this is like a romantic entanglement and things are kind of going. It's really like, I'm going to do it, but how?
Yes.
And damn the consequences.
This is a logistical issue.
Yeah,
Right,
and it's like,
exactly.
I'm going to do it because I could die any moment, so it better be soon.
Okay. Cool. You always want to put a clock on that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
You sound weird. How do you mean? Gaia asked. I don't know. You just do. You're talking fast or something. Ed Fargo was honest. I forgot that was his last name.
Ed Fargo.
Ed Fargo was honest
Private
with
eye.
Gaia, and Gaia was honest with Ed. He appreciated that about their relationship. With most girls he knew, girls like Heather, there were many mystifying levels of bullshit. With Gaia, he could just tell her exactly what he was thinking. Well, actually, not everything he was thinking. There was a certain category of thing he couldn't tell her about. I wonder! That's
Ed.
why it was often easier talking with her on the phone, because when he couldn't see her, which meant he had few... I read it right.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he couldn't see her, which meant he had fewer of those thoughts he couldn't tell her about. I almost got shot in the head a little while ago. That's probably why, Gaia suggested.
What?
It doesn't, I mean...
Sure, yeah.
She goes out looking for trouble.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Ed made a sound somewhere between laughter and choking on a chicken bone. There you go. What? That was another thing he appreciated about Gaia. She was always surprising, though too often in an upsetting way. Gaia let out her breath. Oh God, where to start? You know that guy CJ? Oh no, I'm gonna die. The one who...
That was the chicken bone.
It's the chicken bone. I've got it. The one who slashed Heather? Isn't he in jail? Ed asked with a sick feeling in his stomach. I guess he got out on bail or something, Gaia said matter-of-factly. Anyway, CJ's friend Marco is dead, and he thinks I killed him. I can't.
Oh, that's okay.
It's too emotional.
It's, here, Chris, you go.
All right. Ed groaned out loud. Ah. How had his life taken such a turn? Before he met Gaia, he wouldn't have believed he would have a conversation like this. Marco is dead, huh? Do you know who did it? Do you? Gaia! What? Just asking. Ed clenched the portable phone between his ear and his neck and rolled his wheelchair from his room down the hallway of his family's small apartment into the galley kitchen. His late evening phone conversations with Gaia had become as precious a ritual as his 11 o'clock milkshake.
Wait, 11 p.m. or a.m.? Because either way, what?
Right. I mean, maybe when you're paralyzed from the waist down, you don't care about an 11 o'clock milkshake.
I guess.
I would never do that. Come on.
You would never have a milkshake at 11 o'clock p.m., a.m., p.m., a.m.?
That's like a terrible thing to do.
What? Which one? Which one?
Well, sweets after 9 o'clock for one thing. That's you're just asking for weight gain.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to say no to a milkshake.
Well, like, my bedtime's 11:30, so if I have a milkshake at 11 o'clock, I'm not going to bed at 11:30. But I'm on the toilet at 11:30.
Okay, but first of all, I make milkshakes with lactate.
Is the ice cream made with lactate?
It is, actually, yeah.
Okay.
It's lactate ice cream and lactate milk. Guys, I'm 40. Yeah,
but this is a teenager.
Next time you stay over and we're up until like 1 a.m.,
Are we going to have late night milkshakes?
Yeah, I'm going to make you an 11 o'clock milkshake. A lactate milkshake.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
See, now, exactly, you're excited. It's cool.
All right.
Sorry, we're debating about having a milkshake at 11 p.m. Yeah. You figured it out.
I got the gist.
Okay.
His late evening phone conversations with Gaia had become as precious a ritual as his 11 o'clock milkshake. Come on, Ed prodded, hoisting himself up a few inches with his arms to reach the ice cream in the freezer. Tell me what happened. Okay. I was sitting in the park, minding my own business. Eating donuts? Ed supplied. Yes, Ed, eating donuts, when that loser came up from behind and shoved a gun into my neck. Jesus. Ed said. I didn't take it seriously at first, but it turns out this guy's half crazed and deadly serious. So what happened? Ed asked, milkshake momentarily forgotten. Gaia sighed.
Gaia sighed.
He actually pulled the trigger. I thought I was dead. A wild experience, by the way. It turned out he must have loaded the gun in a hurry because there was no bullet in at least one of the chambers, like a reverse Russian roulette. I took that opportunity to throw him. Throw him? You know, like flip him.
Like a football.
She was very casual about it. She was very casual about it. Oh, right. Of course, Ed said. You're making fun of me again, Gaia said patiently. Ed shook his head in disbelief. I'm not, Gaia. It's just... Ha ha ha. You blow my mind. Well, speaking of, I think this guy CJ is dead set on killing me. I'm scared he's really gonna do it, Gaia said.
You're scared? Ed asked. Gaia's voice was grave, but he couldn't help feeling it would take more than a pimply white supremacist with a borrowed gun to hurt Gaia. It would take something more on the order of a hydrogen bomb. Figure of speech, I'm scared abstractly, Gaia explained. He could hear her thumping her heel against her metal desk. He resumed his milkshake making.
Wait, he's making the milkshake? Yes. That would be so fucking loud. Just be on the phone and be like...
He's like Saxon Ratliff.
Well, do you see the part?
In the White Lotus.
White Lotus joke. Yeah.
Which, when this episode comes out, people won't even remember. What, White Lotus? What was that? Like,
what was it? Yeah, White Lotus.
Yeah. It'll be weeks from now. Ed, I hate when you run the blender when we're talking, Gaia complained loudly. Sorry, he said. By the time she finished complaining, the milkshake was perfectly frothy and smooth. That was part of the ritual.
What?
I don't want to die, she said resolutely. You know why? Why? He asked absently, sucking down a huge mouthful of vanilla shake.
Wow.
I haven't had sex yet.
Holy shit.
Ed spluttered the mouthful all over his dark blue t-shirt. What? I don't want to die before I've had sex. Right, he said. So I need to have sex in the next couple of days, just in case, Gaia added. It's actually written out.
Oh,
cough,
man.
cough, cough. Cough, cough, cough. Cough, 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 cough.
That's what I was just doing in the other room.
Yeah. You should have just read this page.
Ed, are you okay? Ed, is someone around to give you the Heimlich? No, Ed choked out. I'm fine. In fact, he had about 4 ounces of milkshake puddled in his lung. Could you die of that?
Jesus.
Could you drown
you
by
just get a
breathing in a
lung
milkshake? And shit, he'd like to have sex in the next couple of days, too. Ed, are you sure you're okay?
Fuck, I'm not okay. Gaia? This time, his word is actually written out phonetically the way Crispin Glover would say it. Yes! He answered in a weak and gravelly voice.
Well, not
Why are you
gravelly.
showing me?
So you can see that it had a million S's.
Oh, I believe you.
So anyway, I was thinking I better do it soon. It? Yeah, it. You know, it. Right, it. Ed felt faint. Milkshake, as it turned out, was much less handy in your veins than, say, oxygen, for instance. I ground our...
Francine Pascal has a wild imagination. Like, the way she takes shit in this book series.
Yeah,
It's just so different from Sweet Valley.
it really is.
Like...
And I love it.
But also the
Why
same.
would your brain... No.
No, Chris.
Well,
It's still unhinged.
Oh,
you don't get imagery like milkshake in your veins in
yeah.
Sweet Valley.
Yeah.
Like, why would your brain go there?
she grew as an author.
Very
and it's
imaginative.
1999.
Yeah.
Or I guess maybe 2000 at this point.
It might be, yeah. I didn't think we would still be talking about this fucking milkshake. Like, I was giving Chris so much shit about, like, not having milkshakes at 11 p.m. And I was like, that's going to be the only mention of milkshakes, so I can spend this much time talking about it, but then we haven't stopped talking about it.
You know what? 2 things felt like offhanded details. One was the milkshake and the coughing, which both became... But the other is the fact that she wants to bang. Like, that seemed like it was maybe just a little character note at the beginning of the book, but it actually
not
seems
like
like that's
the
a major
plot.
plot
And
point,
so-
too.
Well, John, when I was recapping the entire previous book to you, I didn't mention there was a full chapter where she talks about being a virgin loser that has, like, never even kissed a boy.
Yeah, because it never came back up.
A major sticking point in her life was, like, when she was in elementary school, she had a crush on a boy, and that was the closest she ever came to romance.
Yeah.
Until Sam and the rainy,
Sexy
chest.
It was the closest she ever came.
Jesus Christ.
To coming.
Right.
To coming.
So who
Orgasm.
are you going to do it with? Or are you just going to walk the streets soliciting people randomly? Ed. Gaia sounded genuinely insulted. Kidding, he said feebly. You don't think anybody's going to want to have sex with me, do you? Gaia sounded hurt and petulant at the same time.
Got that.
The noise Ed made didn't resemble an English word, and if you had to type it out, it would be MMRNPHA. It sounded like it had come from the mouth
The
of
first 4 books in this series came out in the same year.
Damn, she was busy.
Wow.
That's awesome.
This can't be right. This can't be right. Because then it looks like the next, like, I don't know. I can't do math. But many more books came out in the same year. I don't know.
They did. I mean, R.L. Stein released like 4 to 5 Goosebumps books a year.
Well, that guy's a machine.
Well, so is Francine Pascal.
Well, Francine Pascal is teen.
But this is like 8. This is positing that 8 of
Eight
these
in a
books
year?
came out in a year. That can't be right.
That's too many. That's too many, right? Is that too many?
This one already feels like it was written by someone else. I think she wrote the first one and then gave an outline for this one. It's like, I don't know. She wants to get laid.
Yeah, she wants to
go
fuck.
with that.
I don't know. I feel like this feels exactly like the last one because it's insane. Chris, did you not see me have to read the word mfa? It sounded like it had come from the mouth of a 9-year-old baby, 9-month-old baby, 9-month-old baby.
That came from the outline. Like she was like, make sure you include this part.
Yeah, make sure you write the word mfa. Huh? Ed couldn't answer. The truth was, although she made every effort to hide it, Gaia was possibly the most beautiful girl he had ever seen in his life. She is beautiful. She didn't know it.
She doesn't know it.
And that was including the
it's
women.
Just what you want.
And that was including the women in the Victoria's Secret catalog, which he jacked off to nightly.
See, here's the thing I want to know. When someone's so beautiful but they don't know it, what else don't they know?
Wait. Oh, wait. Hang on.
Finish
Yeah.
sentence.
Sorry. Hang on. I really needed to finish that sentence. Guy was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen in his life, and that was including the women in the Victoria's Secret catalog, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, and that show about witches on the WB, which is Charmed.
Charmed! Oh my god.
And Alyssa Milano is in that.
Milano.
Alyssa Milano.
Fuck
Ed,
the rest of them.
Ed. Alyssa Milano was in Charmed. Come on, Ed.
Don't you think he's like he's got what do you call it? Proximity bias, you know?
Yeah. Maybe
it's just that she's there and speaking to him.
Yeah.
As
Right.
I've heard someone, a hot woman on TikTok say, she's just hot and talking.
She's just hot and talking. Holy shit.
Well, it's also like the hottest girl in homeroom is the hottest girl in the world.
Yeah. Holy shit.
And it's kind of true.
Any straight guy with a live pulse, and a thimble full of testosterone would want to have sex with Gaia. I feel like it would have been even more impressive if he was just like any guy, any gay guy,
even a gay guy with a dead pulse.
And a girl.
even a gay corpse.
Even a guy that likes women would want to fuck this hot woman.
You know what's crazy about this high school girl is that high school boys want to fuck her.
And college boys.
Well,
That's
is she
crazy.
suggesting that the thimble full of testosterone, is that like a limit? Is she saying if you have more than that, whoa, that's too much? You know,
wait, no, yeah, scale it back.
Yeah, but this thimble full of testosterone, maybe that's on the
But
low
how
side.
much testosterone is there in a man?
I mean, like, also,
Like a cup or a quart?
Are we
I
talking
think it's
about, like, is
5
it
thimblefuls.
concentrated, like, in a thimble? I don't know. I feel like if you,
See, I've gotten to where I save mine, but I don't use thimbles. So I'm not sure what it breaks down to.
Also,
you
a
know?
thimble's a terrible vessel. It's going to go right out the little holes.
Yeah, and then also if you need a thimble, it's like, fuck.
Fuck. That's
There's
where my
all this-
testosterone
All
is.
this testosterone is
I don't want to
inside
put my
thimbles.
finger in that.
So then you have to go buy more thimbles. It's like an O. Henry situation, but it takes a little testosterone to have the gumption to go get some thimbles, and so it's a whole thing. Yeah,
I'm never going to get to this page.
I'm going to use up my testosterone, and now we freed up a thimble. I don't need to go to the store anymore.
Oh my god.
I regret
See,
reading
it works out.
this extra stuff now because I know I can't read again or I'm going to die coughing.
We'll just read to the end of whatever this little section is.
Yeah.
But what was Ed going to say? I mean, I'm so glad we did read it because this is unfucking hinged. This is insane. Okay. But what was Ed going to say? This was exactly the category of conversation he couldn't have honestly with Gaia. Anyway, I don't know who I'm going to do it with. Gaia said confidently. I thought it said confidentially, because that would make sense, but no, she said it confidently.
You don't usually confidently say, "I don't know."
I don't know.
She says, "I do know."
It says
I
I
do know.
do know.
She says,
I
"I do know." Right.
Guys, I can't read anymore. Okay, I do know who I'm going to do it with. She said confidently. It makes sense now. Who? Yes. Ed felt his vision blurring. Ed, it's not you. I can't say. Ed definitely wasn't taking in enough oxygen. Good thing he was in a chair, because otherwise he'd be lying on the linoleum.
Yep. What a lucky thing.
Lucky thing. Why can't you say? He asked, trying to sound calm. White knuckles white on his chair. Because it's way too awkward, Gaia said. Okay, Bekah, take us home.
I will try. Awkward? Awkward. What did that imply? Could it mean? Ed's thoughts were racing. Would it be too crude to point out at this juncture that though his legs were paralyzed, his nether regions were in excellent working condition? He felt a tiny tendril of hope winding its way into his heart. He beat
tested
it back.
it every night.
Gaia, don't you think you'll need to get past awkwardness if you really plan to be doing it with this person in the next 48 hours? Yeah, I guess. She slammed her heel against the desk. But I still can't tell you. Oh, come on, Gaia. You have to. I gotta go. Gaia! I really do. Cruella needs to use the phone. Gaia, please, come on, tell. See you tomorrow. Gaia, who? Who? Ed demanded. Really cool and sexily. You, he heard her say in a soft voice before she hung up the phone. What? But as he laid the phone on the counter, he knew who'd said the word, and it wasn't Gaia. It was that wretched, misguiding, leech-like parasite called Hope.
Oh, God!
Oh,
bump, bump.
No, I don't
That's
like
a bad way to end
Bum
it.
bum 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 bum.
Bum, 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 bum.
I just like the idea of her putting the phone down, and you just hear him going, just frantically.
That got sad.
He just whispers
That got
you to
sad.
himself. It did get really
That,
sad.
that ended real sad.
That ended so sad.
Well,
Oh
can't
my
wait to read that book.
God, I loved it. This book was awesome. John, what did you think of Fearless?
You know, I did find it really interesting. Like I was feeling the sort of like the lack of resolution or whatever when we got to that page, and I realized that we were at the end. I did feel like, oh, this doesn't feel like a whole story, but maybe maybe I wasn't as clued into some of the other things that had already been resolved. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of to Chris's point about this being sort of all climax. I think that. I think in that way, I didn't really get the sense I normally have of like what happened in this book.
Well,
yeah,
it really was just a lot of random things happening. There wasn't like that much of a. The only through line was that there are some Nazis.
Yeah,
But it wasn't even that specific of a through line to be like, how are we going to take care of these Nazis?
and I just realized that she really didn't show off her fearless powers in this episode with John. Like,
Yeah,
John
that's
didn't
true.
get to read about her having no fear.
Yeah.
Which-
She like goes into a fugue state and fights really hard and then crashes and like can't move for a while.
Yeah. So you'll
I
just have
stand by what I said in the first episode, where it's like this is very much written to be adapted.
to be a TV show. Yeah.
Like she's like, I don't know how to write a script, but I'm gonna write it like it is a TV show. In the late 90s, early 2000s, where it does kind of flash forward and back over and over
Which,
again. And...
John, they made a pilot of this, and it was not picked up. But you can watch the pilot on YouTube, and we did watch a little bit of it, and it's not good.
Oh, wow. That sounds like fun garbage.
Yeah.
It was really just boring garbage.
It's really boring.
No. Yeah. A lot of stuff that sounds like fun garbage turns out to be just oh, wait, this is just bad.
Yeah. Like, oh, hang on a second.
Actually, you did
It's
a bad
not what
job.
you're watching. It's who you're watching it with.
That's true. Oh my God. Well, that was fun. That was great. I loved it. And I do mean that. I'm just tired. I'm very tired.
I'm just disappointed we got an accidental short one again.
Yeah.
We need to figure this shit out next time.
I mean, although going by my clock, I think we went on some tangents, so this is a decent sized episode.
Yes.
It's just that we didn't read a lot, so.
Yeah.
But it's always a good time hanging out with the closer, Sir John Walker.
I thought you were talking about what's her name? And now I can't remember it's Kevin Bacon's wife who's in that show, the Soldier, the closer.
Kira Sedgwick.
Kira Sedgwick.
That's it.
Yes,
It's
imagine
fun
how great
hanging
that
out
would have
with
been
her,
if
too,
if I had pulled the name Kira Sedgwick instead of just saying like that show. Which I think I called, by the way, I think I called it the loader first. I said something that wasn't closer for a second. We're all very exhausted. We're all very tired.
I got it at Kevin Bacon's wife. It's okay.
For some reason...
I think on a good day, I would have been able to pull that name. I think it's just, this is a long day in the middle of a long week at the beginning of what's probably going to be a long month for us all, and it's already been a very long year. So listeners, I want you to focus on, I'll just speak for all of us. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong here. This show is fucking free. So just deal with that. You deal what we get. Whatever we give you, that's what you get, and you will like it.
Like it.
If you want your money back, too bad.
Yes, figure that out.
You get what you pay for.
Right.
For some reason, I am mixing up in my brain. Who is it? Kira Sedgwick with Kristen Chenoweth. I don't know. Kira Sedgwick.
I can
the
see
Sedgwick
that.
Chenoweth problem.
Yeah.
A lot of people have that.
Yeah, and I literally
kinda-
just like,
have been written about it.
Is she 3 feet tall? Is that
They're
who-
both kind of, I think they're both
Are they
kind
both
of
short?
small and...
Because Kristen Chenoweth is like this big.
She's like one of those kind of lollipop people, though. She's got like a round face and a little tiny body and a big old voice.
I mean...
And like a big personality.
They are pretty similar looking.
Who's that? Which one's that?
That's Kira Sedgwick.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no.
They do look almost
They
identical.
do.
Okay, this makes me feel better. So that's frankly shocking.
So you're suggesting...
I'm typing in Kristen
Yeah.
to look up Kristen Chenoweth, and the first thing is Kristen Sedgwick, and it's showing me Kira Sedgwick. So
See?
even Google is fucking confused.
Okay, so the internet has the same mental problem I do.
Yes, they
Even
do.
Google's AI is like, look, I'm confused too.
Here's Kristen Chenoweth. I mean, they could be sisters.
I mean, basically, you just showed me pictures of the same person. Do you think Kevin
in
Bacon has
my
ever...
mind, Kristen Chenoweth is more tan looking, and that's about all I can say as a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, her eyes aren't as squinty as Kira Sedgwick.
You know...
Sedgwick.
Sedgwick.
Sedgwick. Why is that a hard Sedgwick?
Sedgwick.
Sandwich.
Sedgwick. You know how, like, sometimes you'll see... I don't know if this has ever happened in real life. It must have, because art imitates life or whatever. But you know how, like, sometimes, like, a mom will be in a grocery store with, like, her blonde kid, and then, like, there will be another blonde kid, and she'll grab his hand by mistake and, like, take the wrong kid. Do you think Kevin Bacon's ever been at, like an after
What
party?
do you mean, like, that's a thing that happens?
Like,
Is
just,
that
like,
a thing
mixing...
you've ever
just, like,
seen happen? Other than
You
in
saw it
that
on TV
interstitial
once.
In
on
movie,
Superstore?
I've seen it on TV multiple times. It's a little bit of a
Kira
trope.
Sedgwick is 5'5".
You guys do watch a lot of
Becca,
Lifetime
Jonathan is what we
movies.
call a changeling, meaning that at some point he was used to replace someone's child who was taken away. So his life experiences are different. And Jonathan, I want to say, I wish I had written it down a second ago. You arrived at the same idiotic tangent I was about
Are
to.
you serious?
Yes. Do you think Sedgwick and Chenoweth have ever pulled like a switcheroo?
Yeah.
And what does that do to their Kevin Bacon game numbers?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Kira Sedgwick is 5'5". Kristen Chenoweth is 4'11". I feel like we
That's
think
significant.
Kira Sedgwick is short because Kristen Chenoweth is short.
And
Kira
possibly
Sedgwick
because
is
Kevin
taller
Bacon
than I am.
is tall,
Technology these
you know?
days, you can never be sure.
I
said with shoe technology these days,
Yeah.
you can never be sure.
I'm just
Technology
picturing
has advanced.
I'm picturing Kevin Bacon being at like a Golden Globes after party and being like, "Come on, Kristen, we're getting out of here." And he's just like walking away, holding someone's hand, and then he turns around and it's Kristen Chenoweth, and he's like, "Not again!" Every fucking year.
It's the 8th time.
Yeah.
But you get home with Kristen Chenoweth, and then you're like, "Oh my God, where's Kira Sedgwick? She could be anywhere."
They probably dress up in the same outfit sometimes just to fuck with people.
They probably do. All that
They
people
parent
think is
trap
like
people.
the only thing is Kristen Chenoweth has to wear like super
Oh my God.
high platform shoes to make the height
Yeah.
difference not come into play.
And Kira wears flats. And
Yeah.
This
they coordinate.
This actually sounds like a
they work
Francine
together.
Pascal series of books.
This is delighting me too much. This whole entire thing. Holy shit, John! What do you have to plug?
I appear every 5 or 6 episodes on a show called Below Grade Level that I think listeners will find to be quite a hoot. if they like this show, they will love that show.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm also almost every week on a show called Movie Schmovie, where we talk about movies and television shows that we've been watching. I also have music that comes out under the name Sci-Fi. That's SIGHFIGH. And, let's leave it at that, right? I don't have to name 15 things every time.
Yeah, that's fine. Just whatever's going on right now.
Yeah, at the time when this episode comes out, which I assume will be a few weeks out because the first chapter of this book just came out, right? At the time we're recording this.
Probably.
So, yes, at that time, I would think all the sci-fi stuff, including some new music, will be up on Spotify, which at this point, not everything is up on Spotify, but I'm doing a little bit of remastering stuff and then putting it on all the services so that instead of going to Bandcamp for my music, you can go to wherever you go, and then I will never touch it again or think about it again or hear about it again.
I love that for you. That's great.
Yes, it's great.
You'll be like, oh, wow, I somehow have 3 new cents in my bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, what about you? What do you want people to know about?
I would love to plug The Sketchy Show, which is the show that I do with Jonathan Eaton and John Walker, who are on this episode tonight, or today, or this morning. And it's a show where we improvise sketches, and they get edited into shit that makes sense. And it's very, very good. It's very, very fun. We have a very good time doing it. So check it out. And the episodes are fairly short. It's not as much of a time commitment.
Yeah, they're
tends
very
to be a half hour to 40 minutes, and you'll have a great time. And none of it makes sense, and it's wonderful.
And I would also let people know that they have a 50-50 shot that they're going to hear John Travolta's voice on that show.
Yeah, that sounds
the
right.
same voices you hear on this show, you will hear on that show.
Usually what we're doing on this show is we're workshopping voices that we then do on the Sketchy Show.
With just more production.
Yeah.
I can't wait for your next episode, which will definitely have a Crispin Glover on it.
Oh my God, I know. I was even thinking when I was doing the Sam transatlantic accent, I was like, this is just Basil Gin.
Yeah,
just me doing like
a little bit there.
Yeah,
like the previous episode,
Basil
the one before.
Gin.
Basil Gin. I'm so sorry. That's the correct British way of saying it. And if you like video games, if you like nerdy video game, retro game shit, check out the show I do with my friend Patrick Anderson called Casting Dreams, where we go deep into celebrating the Sega Dreamcast, which is 25 years old, and we've just been playing a whole bunch of Dreamcast games and going into their kind of history and reliving them and having a really great time. And we talk about a lot of video games on that show, not just Dreamcast stuff. So if you are into that, you will like Casting Dreams. You can follow Below Grade Level on Instagram and TikTok, and you can find it wherever you find podcasts. And go ahead and follow Cactus Rodeo as well on Facebook. That's where I post all of our podcasts and sometimes some comics that I draw and other silly things. So that's Cactus Rodeo and Below Grade Level. All right. We'll be back pretty soon, I think, because we're having fun doing this, and we don't know what our next book is going to be, but I'm sure we're going to find something good to read. So we will see you next time with a brand new book and some new people, and I'm sure returning familiar faces, reading whatever the fuck we're going to read. So thanks for listening. We love you. Bye.
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 Below Grade Level is a Cactus Radio production. You can contact us at podcast@cactusrodeo.com. Subscribe and follow on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more entertainment and updates.